All right, good morning. The only item on the injury report of note is Kane. He has a hamstring. We'll see how that goes today, all right, to see how it will be going towards the weekend, all right. Other than that, I think everybody else is just fine. When it comes to Baltimore, I think we've said enough about who this team is and who the players are. So we know we have a challenge ahead of us. The only thing that we're really focused on is our improvement. Last week, we went against a really good team, and we would take 4 or 5 plays in that game. We feel like that'll be a different outcome in that game. So now we get another chance to play against another team, a team that has consistently went to the playoffs, a team that we feel like is surging right now. So we get another chance to go against a really good team. So we're looking forward to going out to Baltimore. We're looking forward to competing, and we're looking forward to trying to get a win, all right, in this game. And that's the only thing that we're thinking about. Guys had a really good week of practice. Tyrod had a really good week of practice. Defense had a good week of practice. So, again, we're looking forward to going out there and getting us a win. Any questions?
The Ravens are a team that it seems like every year there's some variation of it, right? So what goes in to creating a winner like that? I imagine stability and Lamar and Joe played a huge role.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you really just really just said it, Connor. I mean, it's been a history of how this team operates. And I think I said it earlier in the week that there's a number of teams that look at the Ravens and, man, we want to emulate exactly how they go about doing business. And Ozzie actually was the architect of how they went about doing their thing. So, and it's been consistent throughout. I mean, the players they draft certain type of players. They play a certain way. And I think at some points, man, every team has a lull, all right? But then some teams go back and remember exactly who they are, all right, and start to pick it up as the season progresses. And I think this is one of those teams. I think last year they started out like that defensively. It wasn't as good, but then they start to pick it up at the end of the season. So it doesn't surprise me that they're surging right now, but we just look forward because we get to play against a team that is surging.
Does Lamar look like himself these last few weeks?
You know he does. He does, and if he doesn't look like himself, he still look pretty damn good. So again, he'll be a challenge like he is with everybody else. So you have to be on our P's and Q's defensively, make sure that we contain him.
As far as covering tight ends, I probably bet it's been a little inconsistent this year. So what do you guys got to do going against 2 really good ones in Andrews and Lively, make sure they don't go off?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been inconsistent. I think it's just defensively in general, like we've been inconsistent in with a number of things. Those are things that we've worked on this week to try to get ready to clean up. Andrews has been a damn good tight end, throughout his career. We know that. And they seem like they keep a good amount of those guys. We know Likely's a guy that looks like a receiver at some points that lines up at tight end. So our guys have to really be able to challenge the deep ball. The red zone is where we got to be really, really good because that's when those two guys really show up. So, man, we have to be on it. I mean, this team can strike you in a number of different ways. The tight ends, Zay, as far as him being able to create plays, and then also Lamar. So, and then we all know Derek's is a handful himself. So we just got to make sure we on point when it comes to Sunday.
There's been a lot of talk about how Tyrod can help jumpstart different areas of the offense, but can you learn any more about Tanner from playing a different quarterback?
You know what? You can. I think that's with any offensive coordinator because once you have, I guess you could say, new toys that you get a chance to play with, man, how do you utilize that talent? And to me, that's really how you look at coaches. I mean, can you take a talented player and see what he can do best and go out there and utilize him to what he does best? So, and Tanner knows that. With any player, that's offensively and defensively, any of our coordinators, man, how do you utilize the players that you have to make those guys successful?
You said something the day after the Patriots game.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking about your frustration, you said there was a chance to show the world the improvement.
Yeah.
I know this isn't a primetime game, but the Ravens are. We just talked about a very successful team. Do you feel like this is another chance in that regard?
Absolutely. That's what I said in the opening statement, how we had a chance to play against a good team last week. And, man, again, there was 4 or 5 plays that we all know if we wouldn't make those plays, we feel like it would be a different outcome against a team that's consistently goes to the playoffs, that's surging right now. This is another opportunity for us to go out there and see, like, hey, where are we at? as a team, and how we continue to grow. And there's a number of things that's probably not talked about as much, and I talked to our players about it. Again, last 2 years we were dead last in penalties, and I think this year we're somewhere in the middle. I mean, that's a huge improvement. When you look at our run game, I don't know where it was last year, but I know this year we one of the top run teams in the league, and that's a huge improvement. So there's other things that we have to improve on. I spoke about those things early in the week. And again, that's what we're about. I mean, the only way you can win in this league is to improve. And listen, we know we're not there yet. We know what our record is, but I'll be damned if we're going to sit back and just let that sit the way it is. We're going to continue to work and get ourselves in the right position to be winners.
This is kind of a big picture question, but
Yeah.
there's kind of two ways to go about when you're evaluating and looking at quarterbacks. You can
Yep.
kind of build the ecosystem first and then throw the young quarterback in there, or you
Yeah.
can get the quarterback and then build around him.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, like, or a thought on how that can play out in the pros?
You know what? That's a really good question, and I think it depends on like where's your team at right now. And you always look at that, man. Do you have the talent or the skill on the outside, whatever, in the backfield to be able to say, listen, we're gonna get a rookie quarterback and let those guys make plays for him? Do you have a guy already? And usually, if you have a guy, those guys, he can make the skilled players look better than what they are too. So. To me, it always depends, and that's a good question. It always depends on who you have, and that's why I want to answer that question because it's tough, to really answer just straight on.
Are you able to tell when you're evaluating a quarterback that he does elevate the guys around him? Is that something you can tell, or is it almost you have to get him and be like, oh, yeah, he's doing it? No, you can. I think when you go back, and that's one thing that I looked at Drake from last year. Even though it wasn't a great year, you saw glimpses of him, go out there playing with some of those young guys that he had. And, man, he was throwing those guys open, getting those guys a chance to make some plays. So you kind of knew that he had that it factor to be able to do that. So I do. I think you can tell with those guys.
As a guy from the defensive side, when you look at Derrick Henry
Yep.
in particular, a guy who's so big and physical, does it amaze you in some ways that he could be that type of player and still be so productive so far into his career? Well,
it's a big man's game, so it doesn't surprise me that we have a big man that's able to play the way that he's playing. But I always felt like, man, you match physicality with physicality. And that's our job to be to make sure we go out there and do that. Because they're not going to shy away from who they are. They're not going to shy away from what they do. And he's damn sure not going to shy away from who he is as far as a runner. So we have to make sure we match that physicality.
Take a couple more.
Speaking of Derrick Henry, can Colin Saunders help you guys with run defense this week? Do you plan on giving him a package? Well, he has another day, and we have to see if he can pick the things up that we're going to do. Again, like most guys that we have that just come in, I don't want to force a guy out there and he's not ready to go if he doesn't understand everything that we're doing. But I do feel like he can help us in some capacity when he does get a chance to go out there and play for us.
I realize guys are playing through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Everybody has something. Like Harrison Phillips stood out to me last week.
Yeah.
We were in the locker room on Tuesday. He had a boot on his foot.
Yeah.
So you're thinking 48 hours, this guy ain't playing football. He goes out, plays the whole game. I saw him after the game, basically couldn't walk to his locker.
Yeah.
What did he show you? I mean, we don't know the extent of his injury. You do.
Yeah.
What did he show you last week by going through that game?
Well, it's not that he showed me last week, because he continues to show that week in and week out, and even before he was even here. Again, I think I said something to the tune of we tried to get him in Detroit when I was there. We thought he was going to be free. But he's tough. He's physical. And you're right. Everybody at this time of the year has something. And it's about managing whatever you have and being able to get yourself ready to be able to play on Sunday. And everybody's different. Some guys don't need as much practice to get ready to play. All right. Some guys need to go out there and practice to get ready to play. He's the type of guy that, listen, he knows what his job is, and he's going to be able to do it well. But he's a guy that wants to get out there and get some moving around on Thursday and Friday to get a chance to go out there and play on Sunday. But he's a hell of a player. I love that we have him. I do, because he's the type of guy that can teach the other guys exactly what it is to play defense lineman.
Last one here.
Mason Taylor on Thursday had 4 catches for 30 yards. And
say that one more time.
He had 4 catches for 30 yards, Mason, this week. And I believe over the last 5 games, he's averaged less targets than the first 5 games that you guys have had. Just what have you seen from him, and do you have plans to get him more involved on the offense?
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of our dynamic players, so he's always in the plan of making sure we get him the ball. I mean, things happen sometimes where it doesn't get to him, but there's not a week that we go by, that we don't plan on trying to get him the ball. And he's always shown that, what he can do as far as a receiving tight end and as a blocker. But being one of our threats, we have to make sure we get him the ball. So you're absolutely right about that.